Hey everybody, Grevari here, talking to you one more time about our Wednesday night D&D game. So, last that we had left off, we had actually found our way out of the Illithid temple-like area, right? We crawled up through the hole, and we popped into this empty husk of a shell, and we looked around, found some more Nautilus-like shells as big as houses. And Cooper was extremely worried about it, and that's where we left off. So, in talking with Coop, he talked about his grandpappy telling stories about a time during war where everyone was warring with each other. What the Draconids were warring with the humans were warring with the elves were warring with the Draconids, the dwarves were warring with the humans, and blah 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 blah. Everyone in this area at some point or another was under massive warring times. But his grandpappy remembered a story of a guy who had gotten lost from his, I think he said from his unit, or from a unit of his group. And these stories involved being down these massive tunnels and all these horrors and shells of this sort in massive house-like sizes and having to run away from things and all this and that. So we have that information from him. It talked about tentacled horrors, I believe. So I mean, we're all pretty sure that everything that we're going to encounter here has something to do with the Illithids, from one way or the other. So we decided to continue on to the cavern. We started hearing some more of the chittering sound that came from those reskinned hook horrors, the big insectoids with claws, and decided that, okay, it was a bad idea to head that direction. And right as we decided that, a couple of them started coming around the corner. So Miguel did his best to distract them by throwing rocks against the wall, did so, and we were able to scooch off the other way. As we did that, we ran into a couple more shells. We kind of tested it out a little bit. Akrith got on top of one and then tried to dimension door inside. Apparently it was filled because he took some force damage and was forced out of the shell. So we continued on, and eventually we came across some huge, slimy-like tentacles. Except they weren't tentacles; they were crafted. All of these shells we have been figuring out were actually crafted. They weren't natural shells and such. So as we continued to go on, we found these leathery-like tentacles, but they were massive. And we followed them up along to a squid-like shaped house. As we climbed up it and found our way into it, discovered that it was more like a ship. Like everything in it and around it felt like it was built like a ship. So a few of us with metagaming knowledge were able to discern that this was at one point a Spelljammer ship of the Illithids. Now, our characters don't know that, so we're doing our best to not get too metagamey with our characters. So we're doing some searching and we're looking around. We found a huge broken chair. Continued on from there. We found some study-like areas near there. We continued on and went up. There's still 2 doors down on that first floor that we actually didn't look at. But we continued up. And as we continued up, we found more rooms with not a lot in them. We found like a kitchen-like area. And by a kitchen-like area, what I mean is like a dining hall, we could tell was an Illithid dining hall area, and it was described to us as chairs with U area cut out of the top of the headrest, basically, so they could put and chains and straps, not chains, but just straps on the chairs, so that way they could strap the victim down, tilt their head back into that nook, and eat their brains, because that's what elephants do, right? So, we continued on from that. Went looking around more, continuing going up and everything like that. Found a sword, more well built, and it wasn't thrown to dust. However, this entire time Cooper has had detect magic. Nothing magical about it, but it does something, and we'll find out what it does whenever our barbarian Gesh decides to use it, if he decides to use it. But I can tell you from my experience with the glove, it's probably a psionic weapon, which is why I wasn't detecting any magic with it. Apparently psionics have no magic to them. Which is a little weird to me, but that's just how that works. So, continuing on, we found in the kitchen area a dwarven body. It was all skeletal. It was skeletal and everything like that. We couldn't really discern anything else from it. Looked like it had been killed by puncture marks around his chest area and things like that. But we didn't get much else from that. So we continued on, and we got into this floor where there were 4 doors, a corridor with a door at the end of it, and we were about ready to go, but one of our guys had to leave, and 2 of our people had to leave, so we just called it for the night. And that's where we left off. This one's going to be a short video because I haven't been feeling well and it's late anyway, so that's that. Alright guys, talk to you later.